proceed to presidentially blow up. I'm switching lanes and sipping drink, the music up, my speakers bang, she knows the fuck I hit the block.
All right, and welcome back to another episode of the Perspective Podcast. I go by Mardy Lee. We got Tevin in the building tonight. We are going to break down the second round of the NBA playoffs because we finally got here. Finally got here to the conference round. So, T, how you feeling, dog?
Doing good. Just enjoying all these games and just ready to talk about what's been going on this last week and a half.
Facts. So first off, we can go ahead and start off with the sweep that took place. Both of us got it wrong. The Suns, the Suns went in there and they handled business against the Nuggets. Complete sweep action. So they got them out of there in 4 games. Devin Booker continues to impress. Chris Paul may be playing maybe the best basketball of his career. So what are your thoughts on that series?
Man, I'm just impressed with Phoenix.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't see none of this coming. I didn't see Devin Booker getting this good. I didn't see Chris Paul still being this effective. I didn't see them shoot the ball this well. The defense is tenacious. Honestly, like, that's the one thing that's been overlooked is their defense. Even though their offense has been off the charts, like their ability to play like in different ways, to play fast, slow, get out in transition. They got the half court game with 3 guards just playing out their mind right now. And to me, they looking like the favorite to win it all, honestly, with out of all the teams that's left, because number one, they're the most healthy. And number two, that they have two players they can go to in crunch time. There's great free throw shooters, great mid-range shooters, good finishers, and that can pretty much control the pace of a game. And you always need that in the playoffs. So, I'm very, very impressed by what the Suns have done in just short amount of time being together.
Yeah, they definitely been able to put in work. Other guys are stepping up. Jay Crowder's hitting timely shots. DeAndre Ayton, he may be the best big man left in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? As far as just his level of play, because he's definitely he pretty much, him and Joker were pretty much just a wash for each other. He pretty much neutralized him after gaining confidence against a beat up Lakers team, but nonetheless he did what he had to do to make his mark. So aside from that, we saw Joker got ejected from Game 4. I think that was a weak decision to eject the MVP in a closeout game on their home floor. But I mean, I get it by the letter of the law. A wind up, hit him in the face, kick Campaign in the face. Everybody knows how I feel about Campaign, but he's shown improvements in this playoff series as well. But I think it was a weak move to eject Joker that way, and so the Suns move on. And so that moves us over here to the other matchup that took place, which was the Clippers and the Jazz. I picked Utah. I was wrong. Mike Conley didn't really play until the final game. Donovan Mitchell, he played with ankle sprains, and I believe both ankles, but I believe the right ankle was the one that really gave him the most trouble. How'd you feel about how they handled that one, especially in that series, including Kawhi possibly has a torn ACL? So,
I picked the Jazz too. I picked them to win it. I thought that they were a better overall team, but I didn't see Mike Conley not playing until the last game. I thought he was healthy. I guess I just assumed he was healthy, so that was wrong on my part. And Donovan, I thought he was healthy as well, but I feel like they should have still gave him more of a fight with that team against the Clippers team that lost Kawhi in game 5 he went out because he didn't play the closeout game.
Yeah, he didn't play the closeout game. He got hurt on. It was a game 4, game 5. He got hurt, but I remember whenever he went to the rim, like that's when he grabbed his knee afterwards. But one of those games he didn't even. I think it was game 4. He didn't even finish on the at home. Yeah, that's whenever he sat over there on the side. So that must have been game 4. He was hurt, and yeah, it's unfortunate for Kawhi. But go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Right. But yeah, so I thought you thought going, so I guess you got to give credit to the Clippers for overcoming that. Your best player gone, and you still able to people stepping up, making shots, big shots, scoring a lot of points. Then game 6 was the Terrence Mann game where he just I don't know how you go from scoring maybe like 6 points a game to 39 in the closeout game, but hey, he did. They needed it because I feel like if they would have won one more game in Utah, maybe they could have pulled it off. Because just like I said, game 7 on at home, you never know what happened. So that was good for them. And the Clippers did one thing about the Clippers that they did is show me they're resilient, way more confident in themselves than last year, and they make better in-game adjustments because they got Gobert out of that paint. Once they got him out the paint, that's when that lane got open. That's when the shooters start getting open. So you got to give kudos to Tyron for doing that. And for the Jazz, I mean, I just hated to see it. I just hate to see it end like that for them. They had #1 seed in the whole league, and then to go out like that against a team that's undermanned, it's kind of feeling. But they were undermanned as well. But everybody get hurt these playoffs, so that's another big takeaway from all these. Every series we gonna talk about somebody major is hurt. So we gonna get into that later. But yeah, bro, just kudos to the Clippers for them players stepping up and for Tyronn Lue making them good coaching decisions.
Yeah, shout out to championship coach Ty Lue, making those the correct adjustments in order to secure that advancement into the Western Conference Finals, which is the Clippers' first Western Conference Finals in their franchise history. So shout out to them. It's nice to see a Paul George sighting, like the real PG. You know what I mean? Like, and I see a lot of people giving PG his credit, his flowers, whatever you want to call it. That's cool, but you're an all-star player. You're supposed to be doing this on a regular basis. So I'm not just gonna like roll out the red carpet for you. Thank you for finally showing up and doing what people expect you to do. You know what I'm saying? So
you get paid max dollars to do.
Yes, you get paid max dollars. They pretty much traded all their future assets in order to pick, to get you on the squad. So me and I'm pretty sure other Clipper fans are happy. I know my cousin, he's a big Clipper fan. So shout out to them for actually getting it done. And maybe this is something to look into going further, but this Clipper team, minus one of their stars, minus PG, minus Kawhi, it might be possible that they just may be a better team without, one or the other. Because if you sit there and look at it, PG didn't play in all the games this year. Kawhi didn't play in all the games this year. But when one or the other played, it seems like they have the same continuity, like of what we saw in the closeout game. So I don't know. That just may be something to look at. Or PG and Kawhi, they don't operate in the same spaces. So that just may be a better thing for them. But hopefully Kawhi is okay. He's had a history of knee issues throughout his career, going back to his San Antonio days. So hopefully this isn't something that's super severe and puts him back or causes him to miss a chunk of the season, this upcoming season. So
yeah, because this could cost them their championship possibly this year. That Kawhi injury.
Yeah, and this is, you know what I'm saying? This is the spotlight is on them in LA right now. You know what I mean? Lakers gone. Even in Cali, just the Lakers aren't nowhere to be found right now. The Warriors in a molding phase. So yeah, this is all eyes on the Clippers if you're in Cali. So we'll see, to be determined. But game 1 of the Western Conference Finals, we'll get into that a little bit later. But we'll move over to the Eastern Conference there, where we have the Bucks and the Nets, man. Oh my goodness, man. The Bucks and the Nets. I believe that was what game was that we were texting back and forth where Kyrie like rolled his ankle? Was that 5?
That was game 5. because Harden had to come back to play Game 6 and 7.
Yeah. So, give us your takeaways from that series there with the Bucks and Nets there.
Injuries have definitely affected this series. That's to be the it should have an asterisk for injuries affected this series. So if Kyrie or Harden is at full strength with Durant, like ain't no way Milwaukee beat them with how they play. Like they do some terrible offensive decisions, like a lot, and they defensive matchups they can't ever get them right for some reason. The only thing they got right is putting PJ Tucker on Kevin Durant, like to get physical with him. That's the only thing they got right. Everything else they got wrong. They wasn't shooting it well
at all.
They wasn't guarding well. They really just survived. Like Durant made it that much harder for him. That Durant made it that hard for them just to beat him by himself. Like he took them 2 extra games that they shouldn't have. Like the extra game that they shouldn't have had to play. Like once Game 5 was done, like Game 6 should have been Milwaukee's to take. But yeah, Durant just showed that now. I think he might be the best player in the league because offensively he has 0 offensive holes in this game, and on defense he can hold his. He really can. He's skinny, but he can hold his own and guard his man. So he just took it up another notch, which is gonna set the Nets up good for next year because it was amazing that he looked that good coming off an Achilles injury. So they get a whole offseason to get healthy, get back they get to play together. Steve Nash gets to learn his team more. So maybe their rotations will be better because they could have won, but I think their rotations wasn't too good either because Durant can't be playing the whole game. So like you got to give a man a break at sometimes. Like maybe if it's 3 minutes, you could take a timeout like right before a TV timeout to make it extended or something like that. Like you got to find ways to like get that man some rest. But I mean, I know you don't want to do it, but throw Jeff Green out there for a couple minutes by himself. Throw Blake out there with Jeff Green and just
Hobble James, just somebody. You got to try it. You got to try something.
Right, you can do that, and you can do that early in the game too. You don't have to like when it's crunch time. All right, he got to be on the court. So do it early in the first quarter. Maybe do it earlier in the second quarter. Sometime like just get them out the game so you can get some rest to be fresh to drop that 55, 60 points that you're gonna need from. Yeah, but hey man, Milwaukee they took care of. They found a way to take care of business and move on. They survived, and now they're going on to a matchup that's way more favorable for them than the next one was last series.
Absolutely, totally agreed. I really hated to see Milwaukee advance like they did because y'all know how I feel about Utah. Y'all know how I feel about Milwaukee. I despise both teams, but they found a way to advance as you stated. In between that, we've noticed the Giannis struggles, whether if it's from not just the free throw line, but just overall shooting, whether if it's threes, whether if it's in like elbow jumpers. The final play in regulation of Game 7 was a Giannis in the corner fadeaway in the corner of his own corner of the bench. It was by far like the worst play call I've ever seen in my life. Like at that part of the game.
I'm watching the game. As soon as they pan the camera onto the court, I pointed at Brent Forbes. I said, why is he out there? Why is he out there? I say, with the game on the line, tied, I know he's not about to make this game winning shot. That was the number one thing. Number two, Drew Holiday is the second best shooter. Why in the world was he taking the ball out of bounds?
Why is he inbounding the ball? That time and whenever Brook Lopez got the ball in the corner when the shot clock expired.
I got a theory on that one. Adam, the front office, NBA office called down for that. They said, hey, y'all know what to do.
Run that clock a little early.
I know y'all want to get to the finals, but Brooklyn gonna make us a whole lot more money than Milwaukee. Mm-hmm. I think somebody got a call because
Adam Silver in the back punching air, bro.
The thing was that I knew some of the they took a timeout right before that.
Yeah.
It was a long timeout. So I'm
long timeout.
If
Yeah.
you knew how much time was on that clock, somebody got a phone call to turn that ball over, to not make that shot right there. Then KD went down, knocked his shot down. Then they come back with the worst. Then Bud dropped with the worst. But I'm like, your second best shooter can't be inbounding ball. I was like, Connaughton should have been inbounding it, or heck, Giannis should have inbounded it. Because we know if he not dunking it, he definitely ain't about to make no game on the jump shot. Like, that's off dunk. So yeah, that was terrible coaching.
Now I will say that game 7 though, the Brooklyn and Milwaukee, that was by far one of the best basketball games just of the year, of the season. Maybe that's one of the best games I would say in the last couple postseasons. I would put that game. That one it's not Kawhi's bounce shot in Toronto. It's not that one, but it's close. It's like a third or fourth. You know what I'm saying? Compared to the second. One of the second best games I would say is Klay's game 6 in Oklahoma City, like whenever he went nuts. But yeah, overall that was a really good game. It was some questionable coaching, but I think we all question Coach Bud's decisions that he makes, whether if it's defensive adjustments, play calling, matchups, just whatever the case may be. And Giannis got away. Giannis got away with this one because for you to be a defensive player of the year, for you to be a back-to-back MVP, and for you to run from the challenge of guarding the best player in the world. And he gave him his flowers. He gave Kevin Durant his flowers in the midst of battle. Like, that's athlete code. Like, you never give somebody else that type of love until, the final buzzer. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Salute Giannis for just definitely recognizing KD, you know what I'm saying, as he is, but not in the midst of battle. We don't do that one in the midst of battle. Maybe that's Greek culture. Maybe that's something that they do.
He's one of his flaws is he's too nice of a guy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna guard Kevin Durant because that's not what the coach wants me to do. I don't care what the coach wants you to do. You the only person his size, and you the defensive player of the year. You about to guard him today. You better say you want to guard him.
Yes.
Like, I don't care. I don't care if I'm like, you got to over. Like, I ain't buying that. It's two people. I ain't buying no more excuses from. And he's number 2. We gonna get to number 1.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Cause boy, I'm ready.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so no more excuses for Giannis. And the crazy thing, Giannis's next matchup, he is about to eat. He is about to eat. You know what I'm saying? And
I don't know. John Collins about to show y'all why we should have drafted him.
All right, well, we're gonna move on to that series in a minute. And so Milwaukee survives, they move on to the Eastern Conference Finals. We did not find out who they're gonna play until late last night, where the Hawks took out Philly in Philly for game 7. The Hawks pick is the only pick in the semifinals that I got correct on either side. Yes, I picked the Hawks in 6, but I picked the Hawks in 6, but Hawks.
I got the Nets pick right. I think I picked the Nets. I think I did.
We're gonna have to go back to the tape.
Yeah, I got my notes, but I had to pick the Nets. They was healthy, so I know I picked the Nets.
Yeah, at the time, the Nets were healthy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, the Hawks, they advanced. They ended up beating Philly in 7 games. Started off game 1. The Hawks ended up winning game 1. Shortly after that, Philly won game 2, game 3. And I saw something in game 3 of that matchup there where Philly had a huge lead once again. And this is kind of like a theme that they had for game 3, 4, 5, and 6, where Philly built these leads here and the Hawks just found the correct lineups. And that is Coach Nate McMillan. You got to salute the adjustments. You got to salute finding the correct matchups, finding guys that are willing to go out there and really just, really ball out. But Coach Nate, he made those adjustments. I noticed that the Hawks, they were chipping away at the Sixers lead. And in game 3, a lot of people were just kind of leaving. It was a blowout. The Hawks ended up making it. I think the Hawks lost by 8 whenever they were down 20 plus points. But Hawks ended up coming back, winning this entire series. we know Joel Embiid played with the torn meniscus in his right knee. And as the series went on longer, the more it affected him. Some things I noticed about Joe is like the first half, it was like they gave him that shot in the first half of every single game, and he just hooped. He just balled hard. Some of those games he had 30 plus points, 35 plus points. And the second half he comes out, he's no good. Like no good at all. Philly blew an 18-point lead. They blew a 26-point lead. And one of those games, Embiid went scoreless in the second half. Like he was 0 for 12 in the second half of one of those games. So just aside from those clip notes, what did you take away from that? That was a really good matchup. But what did you take away from that one?
It was Philly once again let their opportunity slip right through their hands.
Yep.
Like you up 2-1 in game 4, and you up 18 points. You got to find a way to close it out. You up, it's 2-2 in game. Was it 2-2 in game 5? Or was it games in game 5? They had the 26-point lead, right?
Blew it.
So now you're down 3-2. Now you're down 3-2, and you got to win 2, 1 on the road and 1 at home.
Yeah, they collapsed on their home floor in game 5.
Right, and they won, but they won in
ATL.
Atlanta game 6, and then lost at home in game 7. But the Embiid thing is the getting tired thing is something. It's a real thing, but it's because he has to do so much for that. Well, he has to do so much because he has to compensate. Because they basically play 4 on 5 a lot of times because the second best player can't
won't shoot.
He's useless. I'm gonna just put it straight like that. He can't shoot free throws. He can't shoot a jump shot. He don't post up. Why do I have you on my basketball court, sir? Like, all they do is, I don't know what that little spot is under the goal, like on the baseline. I call it like the drop spot because that's usually where a guard drives and he drops off the pass for the big man to dunk. So he just stands in that little drop spot the whole time and don't do anything on offense. So Embiid is forced to like work extra hard to get his points. And then once they start doubling Embiid down low, like he got to go outside because Ben can't be outside. That's why Embiid drifts so much because Ben can't. Because Embiid can't. I mean, because that's why Embiid drifts so much because Ben can't do nothing. So Embiid got to go to the 3-point line just to get some space to operate because Ben is under there just standing, looking, passing the ball,
hanging out.
Right. So Ben Simmons, I'm gonna give him 80% of the blame. And Doc get the other 20%. Joe, I don't blame Embiid for that. This is told, and he still gave big buckets. Yeah. Tobias had a terrible game 6. I think he had 4 points that game. Game 7, I guess he had. Game 7, I don't know what his stats was, but they should have still won because there was no answers for Embiid. Ben was, and nobody on that team physically can guard Ben Simmons, but his deficiencies ruined any chance the 76ers had, but the Hawks took advantage of it. They was making their threes. Nate did a great job putting in his irrational confidence guys when they was down big, like Gallinari, Bogey, Lou Will, Trey, like them like 4 people that don't care, like they don't care about that. They don't get their shots up, like no matter what. They gonna try to stay in their mind. They can get a bucket whenever. So he did a good job putting them in to get them runs, making good adjustments with the Ben match, with exploiting Ben with the hacker Ben, because that free throw shooting,
that's terrible.
It makes zero sense for you to be that bad at anything as an NBA player. So one thing I found out today, he's really right-handed.
Really?
Yes. The only thing he does with his left hand is try to shoot. But if you look at his finishes, he finishes mostly with his right hand, but he writes with his right hand. He throws with his right hand. He's right-handed. He's the only reason he uses left hand is because he said his dad made him when he was a kid, like use his left hand so he can get good with it. But he's really right-handed. They got a video of him shooting free throws with his right hand. Shot looks normal.
See, and see that, and just to kind of add to these Ben Simmons issues here. Yes, we're piling on Ben Simmons because you're $100 million man. You've been in the league too long.
6
You
years,
should,
ain't it?
yeah.
5 or 6
Regardless,
years.
you should be way better by this. You're on a contract extension. Like you should be better than this. Game 1, he went 2 for 2. Game 2, he didn't shoot at all. Game 3, 1 for 1. Game 4, 5, 6, and 7, he did not attempt one field goal. One field goal. Not one field goal. It's obvious it was in his head, especially there at the end of game 7. He had the layup dunk opportunity right there, and he spinned off a Gallo, left him, and he's literally at the, like you say, he's at the drop zone.
He's in the paint. He's in the circle.
It was a beautiful spin. He spins and he dishes it to Thabo, and Thabo gets fouled. It's a potential 3-point possession turns into a 1-point possession because Thabo made one out of the 2 free throws. And that pretty much I felt it, like as I'm sitting there watching it, you can see the air just kind of go out of the arena. You know what I'm saying? Right. And Philly fans are tough, man. Philly fans, they're gonna let you have it. Whether if you're an Eagles fan, Flyers fan, Sixers fan, just whatever, Phillies fan, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna let you have it. Like, and I think this is the end of the Ben Simmons experiment in Philly. It's a wrap. And to your point about spacing, their 3 main guys use the same space on the floor. Harris, elbows, or the elbow or the free throw line and below is his strength. He can knock down a couple wing threes. The corner 3 is always the easiest shot in basketball, you know, aside from free throw. But Harris operates pretty much elbows or free throw line below. Embiid, monster in the paint, even with a torn meniscus. Ben Simmons just hangs out down there below. For what reason? No clue. But and you don't have other good spacers. Like your other spacers is who?
I mean, Seth is one.
Seth is really the only one that really can give you 25. He can give you 25 plus points a game. I think if Seth takes over the starting point guard position next year, I think it is a improved Philly team. So to be determined. And I see a lot of things out there that a lot of people are suggesting ship Ben over to your team, but for CJ. So to be determined.
Honestly, I would take him. Like, no cap, I'll take him. You just have to change the offense. Like,
well, you get a new coach, so
either use him like Draymond or improve. Either use him like Draymond or improve his shot, or just build around him with shooters like Dame and just some old shooters. But I think Philly gonna trade him, but his talent is like his abilities is, to me, is like still kind of infatuating. What I would do, I would probably give him, maybe if I see his shot improve during the summer, like if I'm working with him or whatever, if we working with him and he working on the shot, if I see it improve, I'm gonna give him about 15 to 20. I'm gonna give about 20 games and see, like, if he's shooting jumpers, is he making them? And if it's working, I'm keeping him. I just got to keep him because I'm like, okay, he can put in the work. Yeah. If he puts in more work, then we can get to where we want to get to. But if the first 20 games, if that shot ain't falling, or if he's looking like the same Ben, I got to get out of there.
Pack it up.
I gotta get you out of there as soon as possible, because Embiid, we don't know how long he's gonna be this healthy. Like, you know, healthy and still in shape. So, and Doc ain't gonna be coaching for too much longer. So they window is short. So I would give him no more than 20 games to evaluate him in games to see what he working with. But after that, I would make my final decision. But they might have to trade him now, because it might be, even though it's the lowest, even though you might not get all you want right now, if you wait and he still look the same, his trade value drops even more. So it's feeling a tough spot, bro.
Catch 22. You know what I'm saying? That's just that's just the situation that they're in. But it is what it is. Philly fans, good luck to y'all. I know that was embarrassing to watch, because I was embarrassed to watch that.
So embarrassing, bro.
I was embarrassed to watch Game 5 blowing at 18-point, then game the 26-point collapse at home and the 18-point collapse. So it was that's terrible to see. You can't have that. A lot of Doc's former competitors is killing him today on all socials. Josh Smith getting his stuff off. I know Ty Lue is somewhere getting the last laugh. Uh, so I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Oh yeah, I don't want to let Doc off the hook. When you see them leads starting to like, what's the word? Decimate, whatever.
Evaporate.
Yeah, when you start seeing them leads going down, you gotta stop the bleed. You gotta play. Hey, we need to get to the free throw line. And we need to get some easy buckets. We need to get in transition. I need to make some lineup adjustments. Like, I don't understand. Like, you have a 26-point lead. You have this one of the two best centers in the league. How are you not getting easy, like good positions, like putting the ball down low in the post, getting people from foul trouble, getting layups? You got Ben down there too. Just make him do something, like, or and if he's not effective, just take him out of the game. Like, I know he a superstar or whatever, a star, and you like, oh, my star got to be. No, he don't. If he ain't doing, then he can his bucket sit on the bench, like, and ain't because that's how he got beat against Houston.
Yeah.
Harden and Ain't wasn't getting the job done. They was down 20 something. Downtown said, all right, well, we're gonna put these people in, see what they can do. And they brought them all the way back. So you ain't always gotta play somebody just because of their stature or whatever. If they ain't performing, sit their butt down.
Yeah.
So
sit them on the bench.
yeah. So yeah, Doc, his it's looking real. That Hall of Fame looking real sketchy for Doc. I didn't have him in, but I know a lot of people like him because he's Doc Rivers. He got a cool nickname, whatever. But that Hall of Fame looking real iffy right now, buddy.
You're going to win, my brother. You're going to have to win in order to secure that Hall of Fame spot as far as a coach.
Because you couldn't win with Kawhi Paul George, and now you can't win with Ben Simmons and Embiid. That don't look good.
That don't look good at all.
And T-Mac.
And T-Mac. Yeah, absolutely. Like prime T-Mac. You know what I'm saying? Like it's looking rough, Doc. So I mean, hopefully the Sixers they put it together, you know what I'm saying, and they can rebound here. And so that is the Eastern Conference. That was the semis. And so now we'll just move back over to the West, and where we have the Suns and the Jazz. They had game one. Chris Paul is out due to COVID. Now, he did test positive for COVID. The news came over a couple hours ago that he will be all out for game two as well, due to still having the virus there, or still he just didn't pass the correct testing, so he will miss game two. Game one, Devin Booker had the first triple double of his career, and he picked a great time to have it in the playoffs. He had a phenomenal game yesterday. It was beautiful to see that, and sure enough, he's currently the mid-range god right now. You know what I'm saying? Like elbow jumpers, free throw line jumpers, pull-up jumpers, whatever you want. like he's serving them up. And so a lot of the Kobe comparisons are starting to come in now. And so did you get a chance to catch game one, start to finish?
Oh yeah, I watched it. I watched the whole thing. He just knows how to exploit matchups. Like once he saw Zubac couldn't do nothing with him in the screen and roll game, he just attacked it every single play. He ain't let him off the hook. He kept going at it and kept getting to his spot, And once he got to his spot, he said, he had to his first nature is to score. Yeah. So he was trying to score, but once the defense started collapsing, then he started passing. That's when the assist came in, and that started opening everything up for everybody else. Yes. So he's finding his game.
He hit another level.
Yeah, like he's taking up another level. His skills have went up more. And I hate when people say he's not a 3-point shooter. I'm like, I don't like just because he don't shoot 10 a game and he'll shoot like maybe 4 or 5. He's a shooter. Like he can score, but he's really a shooter too. So I hate when people say that about him. Like that mean you don't watch him enough. But I guess maybe that Chris Paul impact is rubbing off on him, where you just start, when you play with better players, like you just start picking up stuff. Like he's showing you certain stuff that you might not have seen, and it's elevating your game, and he's just soaking it all in. He watches a lot of Kobe. Kobe is in a lot of his games if you watch him closely. And then
Nice.
Phoenix, and the one thing I like about them too, you can tell they enjoy playing with each other.
Yeah, they do.
Like they don't care who's like if it's your night to shine, like they know Devin and Chris are the stars, and DeAndre is
Number
uh
3.
he's number 3 and probably, a future star. But they just play their role. Like
Yeah.
they do what they supposed to do. That's they rarely ever try to do too much. That's why they low on turnovers. You don't be seeing them arguing a whole lot. They happy they are happy to play with each other. You seen everybody game go up this year. It's like everybody on the team got better
Everybody.
individually skill wise. So yeah, that was the takeaway I took from it. And I think that if Kawhi don't come back, they're just outmanned because Chris Paul coming back. So
Yeah.
they'll have CP3 and Book while you're mostly relying on PG, and you never know who the second option gonna be the day for the Clippers. Reggie Jackson gonna be hot one day, he can be off the next day. Marcus Morris, same thing. Terrence Mann, you might never see him score 25 or 30.
Again,
You might
you might
you
not
might
see
never
that
see him score
again for the
30 points ever
playoffs.
again. So but they did find someone they put Boogie in though. Boogie was giving buckets, but he always doing Boogie stuff. Him and Dwight Howard just like love to play fake tough and get a lot of fouls, and you have to go sit on the bench real fast. So
Yeah,
if he could stay in the game
it
and
makes a
stop doing
difference.
all the stupid stuff, because he came in immediately, dunked on some whatchamacallit, got
Stars, yeah.
got dunked on him big nasty and got an and one. And he
Oh,
hit
oh.
and he hit two, I think it was two threes, if I'm not mistaken, like as soon as he got in the game. So if he could stop doing dumb stuff, he could really he might can be a difference maker in the series. But I think Phoenix just as a team, they're clicking right now. So I think they're gonna take it and probably I'm gonna say 6. I think if Kawhi don't come back, it might even be 5.
Yeah, I got Suns. I got Suns in 7. I'm saying Suns in 7, but if yeah, it's just Suns in 7. That's really just how I see this one ended up turning out. I think it's just like we're gonna have a couple freak games where Reggie gets hot. PG is gonna have a game where I feel like he'll have a game where he does lead them to a dub. And I think it's just role players. But overall, I'm not picking against the Suns anymore. The Suns were my preseason team. I'm not picking against them anymore. I've seen enough. The Suns who I'm rolling with until the wheels fall off. And like you say, Chris Paul is coming back. That's the ultimate weapon that you get back. That may be the best weapon that any remaining team in the playoffs, could ever ask for. So I mean, and like I said, I think Chris is arguably playing the best basketball of his career right now. Everybody stepped up on the Sun squad, like you said. Aiden plays better. I think he's averaging around a triple double. Not a triple double. I'm sorry, a double double, where he's getting at least 12, 13 boards a game. He's pouring in at least 18 buckets a game. And even other guys are just stepping up, like you say. Cameron Payne, y'all know how I feel about him, but he's playing good. Cam Johnson, he's playing good defense and he's getting timely shots. Jay Crowder, timely shots, and he's always going to play good defense. Even down to Mikal
And Brick
Bridges. Even
and
that,
he might be and I thought he was the most out of at behind the top 3 people. Like Bridges, I thought he's the one who probably one day can average like 20 a game because of his skill set. So, and he got better. He just filling his role.
Yeah, and he plays great defense as well. You know
Amazing
what I mean?
defense.
So I mean, it's the sky is really the limit for them. You know what I mean? And I'm rolling with Phoenix until the wheels fall off. So that's just what it is. And so I think that kind of ties up the Western Conference there. And then what about over there in the East? What we got Milwaukee and we got the ATL Hawks.
I think I picked the Hawks in the first series. And they only played 2 series, right?
Yeah.
I ain't tripping.
They played the Knicks in round 1. They played Milwaukee round 2. I mean, Philly round 2.
Okay. So I have Milwaukee winning. I have Milwaukee winning it, obviously, because the Giannis matchup is going to be very tough on John Collins. The Middleton matchup is going to be tough on whoever trying to check him. And Drew is gonna make it tough on Trey as far as the on the defensive end. And also the thing I like about Milwaukee is if they doing a pick and roll game with Trey and Capella, Giannis or PJ Tucker can play the five. And on you can well and you can switch that screen.
Yeah.
Or like they can step out and hold it long enough and be able to get back to the paint and guard the roller. So that's the one thing I'm gonna be looking to watch is how they go guard the pick and roll with Trey. But I think that's what they're gonna do. Because if they want to switch, I mean, Holiday's a good defender. He knows how to front people and use his body and size to keep them out the paint. And I just think that the Hawks, I don't know if they're ready. And there's some people on their team they young and I just don't trust them yet. Not saying I trust Milwaukee at all.
Right.
But I feel more confident in them beating the Hawks 4 times before I feel the Hawks could beat them 4 times. I feel like if they play 10 games, Milwaukee will win 7 out of 10. So I just think Milwaukee is just a more physically gifted team, as if they just use their size, which is their number one advantage over all the teams left, except for maybe the Suns if they get to the finals. I think they just have to use what you have.
Yeah.
Get Giannis close to the goal so you can get them big man foul trouble, and then let everything else play out from there. And I think that'd be fine because I don't think Atlanta. I think they had a great run. But the injuries at that wing position is gonna cost them with no Cam and no DeAndre. Once Bogdanovich comes out the game and you're relying on Gallinari and Solomon Hill, it ain't. I don't think those players can impact the game enough to change the series.
It's tough. Yeah. I echo that. I echo every single thing that you say right there. It's I got Bucks in 5. I think the Hawks, they'll be able to get one game. Trae Young, he does have like some type of shoulder injury. You see them, they keep wrapping his shoulder at every time he does get a chance to go to the bench. I forgot about the DeAndre Hunter injury. Cam Reddish, it's another quality wing body that you can use. His status is up in the air due to his Achilles injury that he suffered. And even Bogdanovich, he has some type of knee injury as well. And I didn't know that he had knee issues on the same knee prior to this. They said he had like a knee sprain and he had like torn ligaments prior to that in the same knee. So you hate to see it, but it's the playoffs. It kind of goes back to a shortened season, the bigger conversation that everybody is having around that. But that's something that we'll get to at the season wrap up there. But I got Bucks in 5. The height is too much. I've seen enough of Clint Capella in a Rockets jersey to know he's not going to make it. He's not going to make it. I really do assume by the second half of game 2, he's going to check out because Giannis is just going to body him. PJ is just going to little boy him. Yes, PJ Tucker is going to little boy Clint Capella. Clint Capella is soft. He's not tough. He doesn't protect the rim. He may be like my absolute hated player remaining in the playoffs right now.
I think he protects it, just not against the elite players. Once the elite players the elite player gets the best of him. But everybody else he'll block their shot.
Oh yeah. He does great against Steven Adams. He does fantastic.
Oh. Amazing work.
Yeah, Nerlens Noel, he does fantastic work. Everybody else, good luck, Clint. This one's about to be on you. You about to get exposed, Playboy.
Right, so he got a 30-piece put on him last series. So
right, with somebody with a torn knee. So, what do you think Giannis is going to do to him? And Giannis only has really 3 moves. It's the power dribble, the Euro step, and the spin move. Yeah. So Clint about to get put into a blender with this one. So good luck, Clint. So yeah, I got Bucks in 5 in this one. Suns in 7 over there in the Western Conference. I think we do end up seeing Suns and Bucks in the in the NBA Finals. And so yeah, that'll be to be determined. And so Before we get off of the full NBA, we do have some coaching vacancies. Well, did you have anything else you wanted to add to that Atlanta and Bucks?
Um, no, but Atlanta, they do have a coaching advantage.
Yeah.
So if McMillan can find a way to score in different ways rather than just that pick and roll game, and again, you got to find a way to build that wall to not let Giannis get in that paint. That's their they might can shock the world and get there with a 5'10" point 160-pound point guard and get to the NBA finals. So that's the one thing I do. I like their coaching. It's gonna be about the adjustment that they make, and if Bud don't make them quick enough, and if they lose, he definitely gonna be one of these vacancies too.
Yeah. 6 is gonna go balloon to 7, and so with these coaching vacancies, well, first with the coaches, I just want to highlight the black coaches that have made it this far. You know what I'm saying in this postseason.
3 out of 4. The last 3 out of 4 coaches are
black. So shout out to Coach Nate. He still has their interim tag, but I don't think that's gonna last. As soon as their season's over, I think they're gonna give him whatever he asked for. You know what I'm saying? Because he's definitely taken this Hawks team to another level ever since he took over for Lloyd Pierce. And so I just want to highlight those coaches there. Nate McMillan, Doc Rivers blew it, but I want to highlight Doc because he was here in the mix. I want to highlight Ty Lue, and I also want to highlight Monty Williams just for the job that they've done to get their teams this far. And a lot of these teams are you didn't expect those teams to be this far.
Right, because I think in my head yesterday I went through all the coaches, and I believe how many you just named 4. I believe there's only it might only be 4.
Yeah,
it's somewhere between. It's only like it's no more than 6 for sure. I think I went through my head and I named those 4, and I believe
Eric Spoelstra, he's Latino, so he's that don't count. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I think that's it for black coaches in the league, and to see all of them still last that long, it shows you that black coaches can get the job done.
Yep, they know what they're doing.
All right.
They know what they're doing, you know what I'm saying, as far as, you know what I'm saying, just advancement, you know what I'm saying, of the game, and just putting players in the correct positions to succeed overall. So they're definitely doing their part, and I just want to salute all those coaches. And so from positive to the coaching vacancies that we do have, Atlanta has the interim tag on Nate McMillan, but I think, like I said, I think that'll be lifted as soon as their season ends. Portland announced today that their final 2 candidates is Chauncey Billups and Becky Hammond. Boston is still on the search for their coach. Indiana is still searching for a coach. New Orleans got rid of Stan Van Gundy. Thank goodness. Never should have hired him in the first place. And Rick Carlisle steps away from the Mavs. And I think Rick is maybe going to end up in Boston, or he'll end up with Milwaukee, depending if Milwaukee gets rid of Coach Bud, depending on how their season ends. But we have those candidates, and so since you are the Portland expert, I'll let you go ahead and take it away for what you would hope for the Blazers.
Okay, my wish is whoever Dame wants, just get him. Whoever he wants, take him. That's number 1. Number 2, I feel like Chauncey is I don't know why, but I feel like he's bigger than a head coach. I feel like he should be a GM or a player operations, or heck, even a commissioner. He just got that, or to me, he just got that aura and that demeanor about him that he should be something like that. Agreed. But if he gets the job, I definitely wouldn't mind, because I mean, he was a starting point guard for a long time. He's an NBA champion. He borderline. He probably not gonna make it to the Hall of Fame, but he's he was a all-star player during his time, one of the best point guards during his time. So I wouldn't mind him getting a job. And also even Becky Hammond, I don't mind her getting a job because number 1, she played for years in the WNBA, and she's a Hall of Famer in the WNBA. And number 2, she I ain't gonna say she put the time in, but she has She has worked in the field long enough to where she should have opportunity come her way. Being as a female, so, I mean, she's been under Popovich for what 4 5 years,
Yeah.
coaching. So and I feel like she has for some reason I don't even know her and I respect her. So I feel like she's probably earned the respect of a lot of players respect her and like her. So I think they would listen to her, even though she is, a woman that we haven't seen that before. So if honestly, if Dame was younger, I think they would take a chance on her just to do something different, and give her the opportunity that she worked for. But I think they're gonna probably end up going with Chauncey if those are the only two candidates left. I think he might be the one that Dame would rather have that job, especially at this age and stage in his career. Um, so that's what Portland. The other teams, I think the most interesting one is obviously I think Dallas.
Yeah.
You have a chance to coach one of the 5 best players in the league in a they say not a small in a big market. It's a big market, but they treat it like a small market. Um, and that don't you usually don't get that like a top 5 player that young to coach him, for the foreseeable future. So that's probably the best one. But Dallas has always had a problem getting free agents, which is still
It's still crazy.
like still crazy to me. Like that people don't want to go there. No state taxes. You're in Dallas. You're in Texas. I mean, I don't I don't see what's wrong with
I
it.
don't see the issue.
Dallas is a nice city.
I have a great time in Dallas now.
Yeah.
Reason why I wore the hat, I just came back from Dallas.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know who they're gonna hire. I think they might. I don't know who the heck they're gonna look for. I don't know if they want somebody young or if they want somebody experienced, or do they want to try be one of the people like and try Becky Hammond? Maybe Mark Cuban take that chance. He is a businessman, so who?
Marketing. I hate to put it like that, but they just now coming off of a female scandal. So
right,
and they swept that one under the rug real quick. But
kind of what LSU did when they hired Kim Mulkey, but we ain't gonna get into that. This is a big podcast.
Right.
So yeah, that one, and then also Boston's interesting too, because Carlisle used to play for Boston, so maybe he goes there, be a veteran coach there, and coach those young guys up. And again, Tatum is he's a top 10 player probably in the league. So you don't get like it's not, and he's young, so
still young.
He young. It's a nice big market, a lot of history. So who knows who they go after? And also, as far as New Orleans, I'm gonna say we because I'm from Louisiana, so I'm like I have to be a Pelicans fan as well.
Yeah,
we need somebody young. Like hiring Van Gundy was the worst thing they could ever done. I'm like, this team is too young to listen to somebody who ain't coached in a couple of years, and when last time he coached wasn't good. So they need somebody young who's gonna be creative with their offense and who also would motivate them to play some dang defense for once in a while.
Yeah.
And if you want Zion to stay, because as we see, his family is like they kind of want him out of New Orleans because of the Stan Van experiment. So they kind of want him out of New Orleans already. And he's a big market. He can go anywhere because he's Zion Williamson.
He's Thanos of the NBA. Like,
you know what I mean? Like one of the most popular players in the league. So we got to do whatever we can to keep him in New Orleans, to keep the Pelicans in New Orleans before they can
foreseeable future.
Yeah. So they need to find somebody young, full of energy, and I don't know. Maybe they try somebody like a Sam Cassell. He's not old, but he's as a coach, he's young. He's in his he in his 40s.
Yeah.
Somebody like him, maybe who knows? Maybe it fits there. Another try. Wes Unseld Jr. for the Nuggets. Maybe him. But yeah, they need to find somebody young too. And
maybe even Penny Hardaway.
Maybe they hire Penny Hardaway. I'm gonna find me some money and I'm gonna get season tickets.
Yeah. I mean, Penny Hardaway would be a real good hire for the Pelicans, and of course, I don't want to skip over the great Teresa Witherspoon. I don't want to skip over her because she's already in the on the coaching staff as is. Right. Well, she's a part of the organization as is. So I would love to see her to get a shot. Penny, even Jason Kidd, because the Jason Kidd experiment, to me, it looks like a lot like those Nets teams. Brandon Ingram is a super upgrade from Richard Jefferson. He does way more than what Richard Jefferson could ever do on the basketball floor. Kenny Martin, Zion Williams, kind of the same player. Zion maybe a bit more explosive.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like Jason Kidd and Lonzo, kind of the same players. So I mean, you can initiate the same offense and make everything else go. Of course, you get other pieces, but those would be the three that I would like to see take over the New Orleans job. And as far as the Celtics, I could care less. I think they're gonna go with Carlisle, ATL. They better do the right thing. Keep Nate. Indiana could care less. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I forgot we even mentioned them. I mean, they do got a nice young core: LeVert, Brogdon, and Sabonis.
Yeah,
but
I think they're getting rid of Miles this summer too. But
yeah, probably so.
Yeah, and then
maybe even Brogdon probably getting rid of them too. I heard.
I wouldn't be surprised, but those interesting teams there: Atlanta, Portland, Boston, Dallas. Those are the playoff teams. Or on the cusp of the playoffs. Those are really the teams that I'm really looking forward to see what they do, and I think we will end up with out of this group of 6. You never know what franchise could move on from their coach as well. But
yeah, question: do you think Utah moves on?
I don't think Utah moves on, but I think if the Celtics come calling for Quinn Snyder, I think that would be the only job he takes. I think he would take that job before he takes. I see Quinn Snyder either in Dallas or in Boston, but I think he takes one of those two. If nothing else is offered, he stays put.
Because I feel like Utah got the number 1 seed this year. I think with Quinn, they may have hit their ceiling. I don't know how long he's been there, but I think it's been long enough to where they're like, even though they don't have I don't think they have the talent to win the NBA championship, but I also don't think he would be the coach that can elevate them and lead them past some roster deficiencies. So yeah. That was just one I was just curious about.
That is a good one-off though. Especially they have new ownership that came in there. D Wade is a part of that ownership group. So you never know. That's not the coach that ownership group has hired, but the current administration has hired. So who knows? But that is a good one-off. And just to go ahead and just kind of wrap up things, the Olympics will take place this summer, and the Team USA men's basketball roster, they are rounding into place. It is a 12-man roster, and currently they have the commitments are, it's just pulling up right here. We have Kevin Durant announced that he's going to be a part of the team. James Harden later on followed suit and committed to the team. Bam in look at me saying New Orleans. Bam in Miami committed. Dame Lillard committed. Jason Tatum committed. Bradley Beal committed. And Draymond Green committed as well. And so and they're going to be coached by Greg Popovich, who is the successor of Coach K. So any thoughts about this small group of the Olympic team so far?
I like it. I honestly think Kevin Durant should probably sit it out. Him and Harden, I think they probably should sit it out. But I mean, they do want a gold medal. So and they do want the best player to represent the Olympics. So I mean, Durant probably can play. Harden, I would sit him out because they thought it ain't right. It wasn't right. So I don't like to see him playing. What else? I think one thing I just thought about this. I would want to see though, but we can't do it because I think Ben is from Australia.
Yep.
I don't think he can play for Team USA, but I would like to see him play with them just because to get keep his mind in basketball and free at the same time. So like he ain't just sitting around, just like listening to all the noise. He could be around some other players and they'll be practicing. He'll be shooting some shots. Then maybe somebody talk to him, give him some advice or something like that. Just keep him in the right basketball mind frame, stuff like that. Yeah. But I mean, they got so much young talent that they can pull from that like it's we're not gonna be seeing the LeBrons no more, the Carmelos and D Wades and like
New era.
our era. It's a new era. Our era is pretty much officially is like over with as being like the cream of the crop. Like the people we looked up to come and we've grown up with they're on the downside of their career. But it's good to see all these young people like Mitchell. He ain't got a call from the Olympics yet.
Booker committed also. I forgot to mention.
It did.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, like Booker and Mitchell, Zion,
LaMelo.
LaMelo, like we got all these young players that we can throw out there. Like we're going to win, but it's just gonna feel different seeing like maybe the oldest people being like Steph might play.
And saying like Steph is old is crazy, right? Well, Steph
right.
and KD, they would be the oldest.
Yeah, like Steph, Durant, and Harden, like the old heads on. They the elder men of the team, and they only in their early 30s. So it's gonna be good. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, we're gonna run away with it again because nobody in the world can guard Kevin Durant. So that's what we gonna win on him alone.
Yeah.
So I'm ready for it. I'm looking forward to it.
And so the Olympics, their schedule pretty much goes. The training camp for Team USA begins on July 6th. So that's coming up real quick. Training camp begins in Vegas. The Olympics are set to start July 23rd in Tokyo. The stage Olympics for the basketball tournament runs from July 25th to August 1st. The knockout stage, August 3rd through 7th. And that is from CBS Sports. So that pretty much wraps it up there for this edition of the Perspective Podcast. And this is just a conference finals preview, conference semifinal wrap up, and just moving forward. I just hope that we have great basketball just going forward here. I thoroughly enjoyed the second round of the playoffs. I can't say that I've really just been this locked into the second round in a long time. But this was a really good round of games. The Suns took, they finished first. They were off for a full week. Milwaukee just went through a grueling 7-game series. Atlanta 7-game series. And the Clippers just went through a grueling 6-game series. So hopefully, we get a chance to see and nobody else gets hurt going forward. Because I feel like as soon as we wrapped up the last pod, somebody got hurt. Boy, it may have been Kyrie that was hurt next. So hopefully everybody else stays healthy. We get a chance to see some great basketball, and that's it. You got anything else you want to add before we go ahead and wrap up, Doc?
Nah, that was my main thing. Just hope everybody stays healthy so we can see who's truly who's truly the better of the 14th.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So until next time, y'all, I thank y'all for checking out the Perspective Podcast. We will be back as soon as the conference finals wrap up. We'll give you a finals preview. We're no experts, but we just, we're coaches from the couch. So that's just what we are. And so I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Until next time, y'all check out the hat store. The links are down below, and make sure y'all follow Tevin on all of his socials down below as well. And until next time, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. Peace.
Proceed to presidentially blow up and switch it